Our story begins when he writes a wish to earn 10 billion in his diary, only to find an identical notebook at his feet. But when he sees the content inside, he freezes. It's a message from a descendant who found this notebook among his grandpa's old belongings and saw his inner thoughts. The writer calls him a genius, explaining that while technology can now send items to the past, it has a fatal flaw. It is incredibly expensive. To change their family's poverty, this descendant spent his life savings to send back an answer diary, a notebook from the future. The first entry predicts a conflict in the north 3 days from now, occurring exactly in a core oil-producing region. Prices will skyrocket from $30 to $150 in 21 days. The descendant notes he shouldn't need to be taught how to profit, but adds a warning: do not flip ahead. Yes, there are rules. He must write his question in his own diary first to see the answer. Otherwise, if he tries to look ahead, the remaining pages will turn blank forever. Staring at the two notebooks, Chiguang is left in a state of absolute shock. It seems his deep desires were actually heard, and a descendant really did respond from the future, which is quite a lot to process. He pulls out his phone to check the international news, but we see the world is perfectly peaceful, with no hint of war. However, the current oil price matches the diary exactly at $30. If it truly hits $150, as predicted, that would be a five-fold increase. It sounds impossible, yet the physical notebook in his hands reminds him this is no dream. Chiguang considers throwing his entire life savings into the oil futures market to take a gamble on this strange turn of events. But if the information is wrong, he'll lose everything. Still undecided, he determines to test the diary's accuracy one more time. To see if the future diary is truly accurate, he opens the second page of his own notebook, and Chiguang picks up his pen to write, "How do I know you're telling the truth? Prove it with some news." He then takes a deep breath. He turns to the second page of the answer diary, where the descendant offers to check historical news to prove the connection. We see that at 3:29 p.m., a 5.9 magnitude earthquake will strike the Hokkaido region. After reading this, Chiguang takes out his phone. It is exactly 3 p.m. He searches the news, but finds no trace of any seismic activity. He waits anxiously for half an hour. As we watch him refresh the page, the Earthquake Network account finally posts a breaking update. At 3:29 p.m., in the waters off Hokkaido, at the exact coordinates predicted, a magnitude 5.9 earthquake has occurred. Chiguang pumps his fist in triumph. It happened exactly as written, down to the minute. Such a prediction is impossible. To be honest, with current technology, it seems the answer diary really was sent back by his own descendant from the future. More importantly, history hasn't shifted because of the book. Everything is proceeding as scheduled. This is the best possible news for him. If history remains unchanged, the diary's predictions are reliable. 3 days from now, the real opportunity begins. He has no intention of telling anyone. If he were to suddenly ask his family for money to invest in international futures, they would surely think he'd fallen for a scam. Not only would they refuse, but his current assets, like his car and house, would likely be locked away for his own protection. To miss this chance would be to waste the diary's gift. He has no idea when the next chance to strike it rich might appear. Having made up his mind, he contacts the bank to mortgage his house and car immediately. However, the results of his inquiries are far from satisfying. While the market value of his house and car is roughly $4.5 million, the bank, doubting his ability to repay, is only willing to offer $3 million. Worse, the audit will take a week. For Chiguang, time is currently more valuable than the money itself. The loan route, it seems, is a dead end. Because he is in such a rush, he decides to sell his assets at a lower price. He doesn't mind the loss, knowing this capital is merely a small lever. With the right fulcrum, he plans to move the world and create a miracle. As he signs the agreement with a buyer, his phone suddenly rings. It's Chinsi, her voice playful and demanding as she asks what he's doing. He balances the phone against his shoulder while signing the house sale contract, calmly telling her he's a bit busy. Chinsi, of course, isn't actually interested in his business. "What are you doing?" she asks playfully. "Baby, I saw a Gucci bag today. It's only $20,000. I want it." As his girlfriend, Chinsi knows he is well off and often buys her luxury gifts, so she launches her usual sweet offensive. But Chiguang is currently liquidating his life to prepare for the futures market. Every cent he has needs to be used as leverage. Spending $20,000 now could cost him millions in profit 3 weeks later. So, he tells her he's tied up in a project. He explains that he simply doesn't have much liquid capital at the moment. It's a bit of a tight spot, to be honest. He sighs, patiently explaining that he truly doesn't have spare cash right now, promising to buy at the moment his investment returns. "You're just being stingy," she cries. Chinsi hangs up the phone in a huff without giving him a chance. He is left with no opportunity to explain. He shakes his head, feeling a bit of impatience. To be fair, Chinsi is a stunning woman. Back in university, she had plenty of suitors, but Chiguang won her over with his looks and his family's wealth. They've been together for years and are even considering marriage. However, we see that Chinsi has one major flaw. She is obsessed with luxury and constantly compares herself to others, frequently asking Chiguang for expensive gifts. Without his family's support, he never could have kept up. He mutters that once this oil futures deal is done, he'll buy her any bag she wants. After signing the final papers, his phone chimes with a notification. A text confirms that $4 million in cash has hit his account. It's a lot,